on both sides who will line up. We're going to go downstairs to Bill for that.
Well, Saints with 1 or 2 injury problems going into this game. Hahaya, Perry, Wellens and Flanagan all out. So Johnny Lomax continues at full-back. Didn't do a bad job last week with a hat-trick. Adi Gardner, Jordan Turner, a debut for Mark Percival, England Academy International. Francis Melly, this new half-back combination of Gary Wheeler and John Wilkin. But similarly, Wilkin had an impressive game in that position last week, captaining the side as well, so a lot on his plate. The Saints back, Anthony Lafranchi, James Roby, Tony Pugliatua, Sia Soliola, Willie Manu. Pugliatua is at loose forward. And on the bench, Louis McCarthy-Scarsborough. Paul Clough back for the first time this season. Josh Jones and Joe Greenwood. The coach is Nathan Brown. Now then, the Leeds Rhinos, just the one change from the side that lost to Melbourne Storm last week, which is Richard Moore on the bench for Mitch Church. At full-back then it's Callum Watkins, Joe Vickery, Carl Ablett, Joel Moon and Ryan Hall half-backs, Kevin Sinfield who captains the side, and Danny Maguire. And in the forwards, Kylie Luluai, Rob Burrow, Jamie Peacock. A storming game last Friday against the Storm. Stevie Ward, Brett Delaney and Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
These supporters, as Bill rightly said in the build-up, they don't swagger down to Langtry Park just yet, not like they did at Nosey Road, which really was a fortress. But that will come. There's no doubt about that. This is an excellent club. It has fantastic junior development. We can have evidence of that fact here tonight with so many youngsters on display. Phil Bentham is the match referee. And we're counting down to the kick-off here at Langtry Park, as we always do on a Super League Friday night. 10 seconds to go, and then Phil Bentham will blow his whistle, and this Super League match between the Saints and Leeds will be underway. Wait for the whistle then. Here we go. And Phil Bentham blows it, and Turner kicks off. We're underway, and this could be a huge error straight from the kick-off, and it is.
Well, that will disappoint Nathan Brown, the coach. The corresponding game last year, we saw in the opening 15-20 minutes that St. Helens kicked off and they just continually defended and just harassed the opposition. They never allowed Leeds any room to move on that day, and now they have squandered that opportunity to muscle up against the opposition and given a penalty, and Leeds will be loving this.
Delaney will drive it in. Yes, all the build-up, the countdown to the kick-off, the referee's whistle, boom, out it goes on the full. So Leeds on the front foot very early on. Jamie Peacock in possession, magnificent last week against Melbourne. Rolling back the years. Here now is Sinfield, gets the ball away to Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and St Helens are caught offside on their own goal line.
Didn't make any attempt to get back either. Spot on, Phil Bentham.
So 2 penalties in the opening minute, one technical, the other of course for this offside, and that is interesting. They are going for the 2 points. I wonder if Kevin Sinfield has got this club goal-kicking record at the back of his mind.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that'll be the last thing that he'd even want to. This is the kickoff. Absolute shambles. That is not the best thing to do, and you can see there wasn't one player actually got back to the official. He'd no option, Phil Bentham, to blow the whistle and forget about whether he gets this consecutive, Eddie. I think this is all to do about Leeds just slowly but surely getting involved in this game without going 100 miles an hour.
Well, there is the 40th consecutive successful kick from Kevin Sinfield since we started counting, and of course we're looking back over the years since the official records began. We think that is the fact that he is just 2 now away from an individual milestone. But I can't understand why they didn't run that, Brian, despite what Steve-O says.
Yeah, maybe expecting a tight game, Eddie. I'm fascinated to see what unfolds in front of us here. The left-hand edge for St. Helens. They've got Mark Percival playing in the centres, and I've got no doubt that Brett Delaney and Carl Ablett are going to target him. However, in Mark Percival's favour is the men he's got either side. Francis Melly, John Wilkin and Willie Manu, all big men, and I have no doubt that they'll be in to help the man in his first appearance.
Yes, Mark Percival, the England Academy tourist, the youngest brother of the late Chris Percival, who so sadly passed away just last year.
But Brian is absolutely spot on. It's going to be a real contest. Percival against the big fella Carl Ablett. He's a very tough, hard man to put down. Interesting to see whether Leeds utilise him on this right-hand side. Nathan Brown will be disappointed with that kick-off.
Well, you notice that on the restart after the Sinfield successful penalty, Jordan Turner just didn't put quite the same oomph behind it as he did in the original kick-off. That's a great kick from Sinfield, because that ball has bounced horribly, and it's very well picked up actually by Percival. He was the first to react.
Well, that'll do his confidence a lot of good. Yeah, the wherewithal to realise that that ball could have kicked back, and it did. And he was first, Johnny on the spot. Look at that. Reacted a lot quicker than anyone else.
You know, one of the advantages of playing in a World Club Challenge is that you tend to play in a game at a faster pace, a higher intensity. And I think Leeds will want to play at that pace. I know, Mike, you said earlier on they want to slow it down. I would contradict that and say that at the moment the advantage they've got is that they're used to playing at a high tempo. Here's a penalty goes against them. But they'll want to maintain what they did last week against Melbourne here again tonight.
Too quick out of the blocks here for offside. So a penalty to St Helens.
It just shows you the intensity of these two sides. As you've already mentioned, Eddie, they are the most two successful in the Super League history.
Yeah, the club that dominated the first 10 years of Super League, St Helens. They've done it tough over the last 4 years or so. Leeds, well, they have certainly dominated, haven't they, in the recent past. This is a drive-in from Tony Pulatua. Next try for Saints would be his 40th. Roby will scamper away from dummy half. He brings Sia Soliola onto the short ball.
Key figure tonight, James Roby. Taking a while to get back into the swing of things, but I think tonight he will show it. Nice dummy there by Pulatua.
Yes, it was a 360 by Pulatua, and he gets to within 3 meters of the line. Roby finds Lomax, and that was an important arm snaked out by Vickery. But why didn't he drop on that? Because it's 6 to go here. He shouldn't really have dropped on it and made St Helens put the scrum down, surely.
Well, he just anticipated that the whistle would go. He got to play to the whistle.
Well, it's that new rule, isn't it? If it's an here is Pulatua, or is the new interpretation, you just play on until you retain possession, and Saints have retained possession. And here is Wilkin, and this now is Wheeler trying to jink his way inside, keeps the ball alive, finds Turner, and Turner tries to go for the line.
Quick play the ball, that's what he wants. Could have been penalised.
Roby with the pass to Wilkin, good hands, but it's dropped by Anthony Lafranchi, and Leeds survive.
Brilliant defence from the Rhinos. They were impressive last week against Melbourne, and they started the year when you have to defend on your own try line. The aim is to put your opponents under pressure, and they clearly do that, don't they, by getting back onside and then getting into the faces of the Saints attackers as soon as possible.
And the one thing about it is that the Leeds coach Brian McDermott realises the real value of Brett Delaney. I mean, this guy really does work hard for the full 80 minutes.
Well, we've just had a quick scan at the St Helens team sheet. There he is now in the tackle, number 27. Walker has suddenly come from nowhere and has figured in this match. We're just investigating how and why and when that change was made, because the original team we were given didn't have him in it, but he's in it there now. Maybe something happened in the warm-up. This is Burrow, quick on his feet, finds Danny Maguire. And I think we've got some news about Anthony Walker and the fact that he's on the field, Bill.
Yeah, it was Walmsley who pulled out, and he came off after the warm-up and was pulled out when he got back into the dressing room. Now, he looked all right as he left the field after the warm-up, was blowing a little bit. He did get here late, Anthony Walmsley. He was another victim of the traffic that has caused problems for the Leeds fans getting here tonight. Walmsley travelling in a similar direction was also snarled up. Whether that had something to do with it, we don't know. But it was very late in the day from Saints. Walmsley was withdrawn, and Walker was whisked into the starting lineup. And the sideline officials just confirming that now.
Well, a real mess up there by Stevie Ward. I think he got a bit of a knock, didn't realise what it was all about, didn't play the ball correctly, went forward rather than backwards. That's a big lead off. You can't get away with that. Jamie Jones-Buchanan thought he could. He's on the ball tonight. It's Phil Bentham. He certainly wants you. You can see he goes over the top. You've got to peel away. The rule states once a tackle is effected, you cannot hang around. You must roll away from the play the ball area. Well done, the official.
So Saints have made good progress into the Leeds half of the field. I tell you what, there's something about Leeds Rhinos and their opposition this year, and injuries and changes in the warm-ups. Remember week 1, Gareth Ellis limped out of the whole lineup in the warm-up, and we haven't seen him, and we won't see him for another 8 weeks or so. Here tonight we've had this late change for the Saints. Walmsley stuck in traffic, maybe pulled a muscle, bit slow to get going. However, they're not worried about that here, because Lomax have got a hat-trick this week, gets Saints' first try this week. What an outstanding talent Johnny Lomax is. He's playing full-back for the first time in 2 years. That was at the Willows against Salford in February 2011. He scored 3 tries from full-back last week, and here he is. He's got the Saints underway here.
And there's the mistake by Stevie Ward. I think he got a knock, and he didn't know what it's all about, and then they just messed around. You can't afford to do this. Over the top, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. But this is superb. Beautiful run there. Just got a little bit there too early, but Wilkins' pass was delayed sufficiently. And the man of the moment, Johnny Lomax. This is a wonderful little run around. He should have come a little bit later. Didn't make any difference, did it? Slid over. Lomax, boy, is he in top form.
Yes, he is. Johnny Lomax, 22 points against Leeds here last year from 2 tries and 7 goals. Well, he's got 1 try so far this evening, and Gary Wheeler is the young man who has the kicking responsibilities at the moment. 4 goals from 7 against Bradford last weekend. And his kick is on the way, but it's just the other side of the far post. But the Saints lead by 4 points to 2.
Certainly is. They were trying to do exactly what Cooper Cronk and Billy Slater did, but Slater comes a lot closer to the offload. You can see there that Johnny Lomax was coming wider off John Wilkin, whereas Slater last week just hid himself behind the ball carrier. Either way, it was effective.
Bit of a colour clash with the referee and the Leeds jerseys. We're seeing plenty of pink tonight.
John Wells will give us a look at half-time, a closer look at that try, and I'm sure he'll credit the run of Willie Manu and what that did to Carl Ablett. All his attention was on Manu, and that Johnny Lomax pushed into position by John Wilkin, who is now the organiser. Lomax can play with the shackles off. He can enjoy himself out in the field. John Wilkin does the dictating. Johnny Lomax pops up and scores a try, incredibly similar to one he got against Bradford last week.
Just reiterating, Eddie, sorry, what we said before the game. If you look at the breakdown of tries by St Helens now, that's 9 on the left-hand side of the field over this touchline, just 1 on the right. Kevin Sinfield and co on this side of the field are going to be under pressure tonight.
That's a nice measured kick from John Wilkin. It's a super kick. It bounced on the line, so that means it's out.
Isn't it amazing? You get players that sometimes are forced through injuries to play a different position, and they really just stand up to the plate, don't they? Look how many times have we seen Kevin Sinfield have to take that standoff role to great effect. Here he is playing halfback. A proud moment for this fella to lead the team tonight, and that was a superb kick.
Yes, it was. The Great Britain and England international, as Kylie Luluai just gets some treatment to a nose injury, but he has played at half-back before and has played with aplomb as well, John Wilkin.
Yeah, sometimes it's just more noticeable, though, what a kicker does in a game than a back rower who might make 45 tackles, Eddie. You know, they stand out, don't they? We see a replay of it, and he is a great kicker of the ball. He did most of the kicking last week at Bradford. Suspect he'll do again most of it tonight.
That was Vickery who was pulled down. He played the ball. This is Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Down he goes in the tackle, and he's still got a bit of a problem with the nose, has Kylie Luluai. Here he is on the ball now. The referee will surely see him in a moment and instruct Leeds to have him cleaned up. Indeed, here we go.
Tackle 3.
Yeah, pretty hard to stem the flow. It's
get treated. You're gonna have to treat it, mate.
Coming from
Okay,
the nose
no, you don't have to
and
treat it 'cause it just starts bleeding again. Yep.
perhaps the mouth. Got a double blow.
Yeah, well, somebody else
Split
playing the ball,
lip.
yeah. Somebody else will play the ball. You'll have to go back for treatment.
It's amazing how people they just touch their finger and say, "Has it
Get him
stopped?"
right out of the play.
Well, it has
Yeah,
for a
three,
while.
okay,
Can he get away with it?
Go.
Must say, a lot better defence we've seen from Saints that we have seen in the previous games this year.
Well, they just play on with the nose plugged. That's this game for you. It's not a game for softies, this. That's a great hit. Tremendous tackle that was by Willie Manu.
Well, that's how you attack with defence, Eddie. He's dislodged the ball, jammed his shoulder straight into it, and turned it over. St. Helens now, thanks to Willie Manu, great opportunity.
Yes, the turnover on the halfway line as Sia Soliola plays the ball there to Roby. He asks Pulatua to go on a run.
Wait, Leeds. Wait.
Roby's waiting again. This is Anthony Lafranchi, who is surrounded, only makes 5 metres forward.
Hold, boys, hold. Goal, 3.
Roby once more. The flowing locks of Soliola to Pulatua. It wasn't the best pass. It went backwards to ground and Lomax had to drop on it. They've lost momentum there, the Saints.
Hold. Goal, 4.
Roby. Back it comes to Wilkin. There's the little kick. It flicked off the Leeds man, and the Leeds man was Maguire. He got winded as a result of that as well. He moved towards the ball, so the referee said it was played at.
Quick
An
work
attempted charge down.
Quick work by Ablett, had to be as well. Well, Leeds need to get themselves into a good position in regards to ensuring when they get the kicking game away. I noted last week, I didn't think that Kevin Sinfield got into his real kicking game against the Melbourne Storm. He needs it tonight.
Peacock goes down. There is Kevin Sinfield marshalling the troops, waiting to pick this up first receiver. There he is. And then he finds Maguire, fully recovered, floats the ball out to Joel Moon.
5, move. Go.
This is the last tackle then for the Leeds Rhinos, and Sinfield will hoist it high into the lights here. Tester for young Percival. Came up with the goods though.
Well, he's
Excellent
certainly
take.
Yeah, he's certainly not frightened. It wasn't the best jump. He was out jumped for the ball, but he found it into his arms, and that's all that counts.
We'll see how this set ends for St. Helens. John Wilkin unable to get a clear kick away last time, Eddie. What you would say is that James Roby and the forwards need to give John Wilkin all the time on the ball possible. They need to get quick play of the balls and let John play against a retreating defence. He's not usually a halfback, so he will need a little more extra time than what you'd usually afford to a halfback.
There's a great kick from the dummy half, James Roby. There he is, leading the chase, putting everybody on side as well, following his own kick up.
Typical tactics from the coach, Nathan Brown. Didn't wait till the last, went on the fourth. Good tactics. You could see they had to turn that winged around. James Roby jumps in so quickly at dummy half.
It's Ablett now for the Rhinos. St. Helens moving up very quickly to cut his options down. Burrow has a scamper, as he always does, from dummy half.
Interesting to see how Nathan Brown is utilising the halfback tonight, John Wilkin. We wondered whether they'd play down the middle, but no. They put Wilkin at the side of Mark Percival. Just to give him a little bit more confidence.
Playing by Francis Melly.
That was good refereeing as well. 3 Leeds players were offside, and the official said, don't go near him. They didn't. Stayed away. Good for the game. Makes it open. Not stop-start.
Here comes Walker. Late change by Nathan Brown. Alex Walmsley due to start, but Walmsley caught up in the hiatus that's on the motorways today and got here a bit late. But it's Walmsley who's about to come on to the field now, so he is on the bench, is Walmsley. So, or is that Josh Jones who's down there?
Yeah, Josh Jones just coming on there, Eddie, for Walker taking a spell.
That's good defence. Boy, haven't they improved over the past couple of weeks, St. Helens. They were all over the shop early in the season. Look at that. That is meat in the sandwich stuff. They really mean business. Leeds are going to have to come up and up the tempo somewhat.
Here come Leeds again. Maguire with the delayed pass, and
Did he touch it?
I think it might have come off of St Helens' hand, this.
I think it might be Frankie.
Yeah, it does come off the Saints' hand, and
but he's making the tackle though, Eddie. He's not even seen the ball. He's not played at it. Percival's trying to tackle Carl Ablett, somebody twice his size.
I think Frankie does get to it. Just a touch.
Well, it wasn't, because the referee's given head and feet to Saints at the scrum.
He wants to have a check, though.
He's having a word with the touch judge.
Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, we'll just check it.
Hey, we can't argue with Clint, this touch judge.
He definitely touches it. Should be head and feet to Leeds.
Okay, same scrum. It's not played.
Whoa, well.
It's not played at that, Mike, was it? He's trying to tackle the man.
I'm not so sure.
Well, they get away with it anyway. And this touch judge on this near side, he's the guy that saw that fingertip knock on Warrington and Catalan 2 weeks ago. He's got good eyes, this fella.
Well, what it does is it gives St Helens great attacking position again, but they are only 2 points in front. They're going to have to convert some of this pressure.
High shot, silly play that.
Joel Moon, the tackle just straying up a bit round the neck. Gady Gardner felt it.
The one thing I do like about Adi Gardner, whenever he gets the ball, it's as though he wants to run through a brick wall. You've got to give him credit for that. He may not have the same finesse as a lot of other wingers, but give it anywhere close, he will just ram it into it.
We said it was must-win for the Broncos. They're leading 6-0 at Salford.
He's okay. Move!
It's the battle of the bottom two there. Here it's the battle of champions, 11 of the 17 years. And this is Jones. Josh Jones off the bench. First appearance off the bench after 4 in a row in the starting lineup. And they go without it.
Wasn't the best pass. It was always dipping.
LaFranchi couldn't hold on to it. Went behind him.
Yep.
Very brave tackle from Stevie Ward, I thought there, Eddie. You've got to put your...
To 4. And they took